All right, let's get right into it. If you're a school principal, you've probably got the National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2023 sitting on your desk. But let's be real, this isn't just another policy document you file away. You need to think of this as your new operational handbook, a real blueprint for re-engineering your school from the inside out.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. We are talking about something way bigger than just updating the syllabus or getting new textbooks. The NCF is literally asking school leaders like you to transform the very DNA of teaching and learning. It's a huge ask, for sure, but man, is it an exciting one. So what's the biggest change? It's this core mission shift. For so long, education has been all about information delivery, right? Just getting through the syllabus. Now, the entire mission is about developing competencies. It's not about what a student can memorize, it's about what they can actually do with what they know. This one idea, it's the heart of the whole thing.
Okay, so how do you make this massive shift actually happen in a real classroom? Well, the NCF gives you this incredibly powerful tool called the Punchapati Playbook. And for you, as a principal, this is more than just some teaching theory. This is your new go-to framework for walking into any classroom and knowing, almost instantly, if real NCF-style learning is happening.
Punchapati maps out this beautiful 5-step learning journey. It all kicks off with oddity. That's about sparking curiosity, getting kids excited. Then you move to bodh, which is that aha moment of real understanding. After that, it's abhyas for practice, prayog for applying it to the real world, and finally prasar, where students connect that one idea to everything else. It's a complete cycle, really, from wonder to wisdom.
Now, this slide, this is your new cheat sheet. Seriously, when you're doing your rounds, what should you be looking for? In the attitidi stage, are you seeing excited faces, kids asking questions, or is the red flag a teacher just saying, open your books to chapter 4? For both, are students explaining things in their own words, or are they just mindlessly copying definitions? You want to see collaborative practice in abhyas, not pin-drop silence. And for prayog, you're looking for hands-on projects, not just memorizing the steps of an experiment. It's a crystal clear guide to what good looks like.
Okay, so that's what's happening inside the classroom. But the NCF's vision goes way beyond those four walls. Now let's zoom out to the admin level, because you're going to have to re-architect your school's entire operational system to make all this new pedagogy possible.
So here's your high-level to-do list. You'll need to oversee the 3-language formula, and this is a big one. You've got to reclassify art and physical education as core subjects. Yeah, with the same weight as any other academic class. It also means physically changing your classrooms, moving from those rigid rows to flexible clusters that spark conversation. And you'll need to start building a network of local professionals for those 10 bagless days.
And speaking of skills, just look at this number, 110. That's the number of hours per year that grades 6 to 8 must dedicate to skill education. That's not a suggestion, it's a requirement. If you do the math, that's around 160 periods on the timetable. That is a huge commitment, and it tells you just how serious this shift is towards valuing a complete, well-rounded education.
So, if we're changing what we teach and how we teach it, that old mark sheet just isn't going to cut it anymore, right? So, say hello to the Holistic Progress Card, or the HPC. The entire goal here is to stop just reporting scores and start telling the full, nuanced story of a child's journey.
So what exactly makes it 360 degree? It's these 3 feedback loops. It is no longer just the teacher's voice. The card now has to include the student's own reflections on their learning, feedback from their classmates on things like teamwork, and even observations from parents and caregivers at home. You end up with this much richer, much more complete picture of the learner. And we're ditching those old, sometimes stigmatizing letter grades. The NCF introduces this really cool non-hierarchical icon system. A student might be at the stream level, like a beginner who needs some support. They could be at the mountain, meaning they're proficient, they can do it on their own. Or they could be at the sky level, where they're so advanced they can apply concepts in totally new ways. And the best part, a kid can be a sky in art and a stream in math, and that's a perfectly healthy, normal profile.
Now, I know what you're thinking. The biggest pushback you're going to get is from your teachers, worrying about how much time it'll take to write all these detailed remarks. And that's a fair point. But here's the solution, the remark bank. Instead of making teachers start from scratch, you provide them with a whole menu of pre-written, NCF-aligned competency descriptions that they can just select and tweak. It's an absolute game changer for making the HPC practical in a real school.
I get it. This all sounds like a massive, monumental task. So the big question is, where on earth do you even start? Well, let's break it all down into a clear, actionable roadmap for your first 100 days.
Here's the game plan. Kick things off in the first couple of weeks with a readiness audit. Just see where your school is right now. Then dive into intensive staff training using amazing platforms like Nishta and Diksha. After that, don't try to do everything at once. Just launch a pilot of the new progress card in one single grade. Work out the bugs, and then cap it all off by organizing a Kaushal Mela, a big skill fair, to celebrate and show off everything your students have learned.
And here's a little tip for you, something to keep in your back pocket. The next time a teacher comes to you and proudly says, "I finished the syllabus," just smile and ask them this one simple question. It gently, but very firmly, puts the focus right back where it belongs, not on covering content, but on whether real, lasting learning has actually happened.
So let's leave you with this one final thought. At the end of the year, when you're signing off on these new holistic progress cards, this is your ultimate test. Ask yourself, does the document in my hand look like a person, a complex, unique, growing human being, or does it just look like a spreadsheet? If it looks like a person, then you'll know you haven't just followed the rules of the NCF, you've truly brought its soul to life in your school.